Hello guys, welcome to This is the Police. We're on day 5 and let's just quickly read the headlines. Retired police officer Thomas Blaine shoots pregnant woman. Officer Blaine explains, I thought she was a suicide bomber. Mayor Rogers, city has no problems with racists. Let's go to work. Chuck down that morning coffee.
Why would a man need a barn? To store all the stuff you can't bring home. About 30 years ago, back when I was young and interested in farming, I carried all kinds of junk home. After a day in the field, I'd come home with buckets, shovels, dirty boots and clothes, and instantly transform the living room. But even back then, there's something I always kept in the barn. I stopped keeping my pills inside the house because every time I was about to take a triple, someone would knock on my bedroom door. Now they're knocking on my barn door. Well, fine. It's not every day that someone comes to visit your barn. In all the years we worked together, Kendrick never came to visit the house. We drank at bars, went fishing, went to the mountains, even chased off some poachers one time. But he never came for dinner with the family. We never watched football over here. And now he's brought his friends to visit my barn. I always try to look unsurprised, like it's an everyday thing to get visitors at the old barn, especially guests with their own personal bodyguards. But Kendrick is sharp enough to see he's caught me with my pants on backwards.
Sorry for the surprise, Jack. We saw you from the car. Figured we'd find you in here. I'm going in for a minute, fellas. These guys will wait outside.
How long you been dating the lover boys?
They're sans people, Jack.
Yeah. So now you're appearing in public with members of the mafia?
Jack, I'm leaving tonight. More like fleeing. Jenny and I are taking the girls and making a run for it. Probably won't be seeing each other again. I've got new documents, a new name, a new life, everything new.
The papers say you're still working your last week for the department.
I've got to get out today. I won't be getting another chance. Don't know if you noticed, but the whole city is against me.
You told your mafia friends about your plans.
Jackie, if I don't fix everything with them in the next few hours, they're going to kill me. And not just me. My family, my relatives, God, Jack, I don't know who else. They found out that I was planning to run and they demanded that we close our contract today.
Your contract, Frank? Really? Is that how you talk now? Maybe you should call in the lawyers to straighten all this out.
Now is not the time, Jack, please. I have a commitment to them until the end of the year. They need an inside line at police headquarters. I can't just give them back the money. That's not how the mafia works. If I can't find someone I can trust tonight, I'm dead. You know me, Jack. I wouldn't ask you if I wasn't afraid they'd cut my daughters to pieces before sunrise.
He's the damn fool who puts his daughters in the crosshairs in the first place. Anyone in my place would have dressed him down good. But I didn't want to pile it on. Fate's already got this guy's soul in the grinder.
So we can either agree to help Kendrick or refuse to help Kendrick. That's interesting. I think that if we help him, our family will be on the line as well. So even though he's a friend, we don't want to risk it. We know we have kids and an ex-wife and a mother-in-law. So let's refuse to help. We don't want to get in with the mafia that way.
I'm not gonna lecture you, Frank. I don't think I have anything to say that you don't already know. I'm sorry for your family. I wish them all the best of luck.
So Kendrick's in deep shit, but we have a shift to manage. So here's Birch. Today some of my relatives have come to visit. They're from another country and we've never even met before. Can I have a day off? So we'll give him the day off, but he'll come in tomorrow. And Tsubaki, city officials want to demolish my house because of some bureaucratic error. If I don't resolve the problem today, my family is going to have to find another place to live. Can I have the day off? Yeah, we can't say no to that. So we are losing 2 cops from shift A before we start the day. So let's listen to this one with the trumpets. Sweet Ginger Green. Pierce picking ragtime 5. So here's the first call. Disorderly conduct in Eddie's Burgers. Every morning there's a dirty piss-soaked bum sleeping at the cafe. The man refuses to go away and growls at anyone who approaches, scaring all of the customers. So let's send Robbins and Roy to deal with that. And let's take a look at these messages. So we got a salary from City Hall. Here's your week's salary. City Hall hopes we don't disappoint. So we got 1200. Fire all black cops. Message from City Hall. Tomorrow is the deadline. We'll close that down. Take a look at this call. Robbery. Touch of Dionysus liquor store. A witness looked on from her window while an armed man with a stocking on his head entered the nearby liquor store. So now we can send the SWAT team. So we'll definitely do that. But we also need to send some cops. If we send the SWAT team, maybe 2 cops is enough, but I don't really want to change it. We'll send these 3 and the SWAT team. So off they go. And let's click this because we have something else here. Requests to City Hall. We can either request a job slot for an officer, or a SWAT upgrade, or a job slot for a detective, or we can request a raise. So I'm leaning towards asking for the raise or for the SWAT upgrade. But I think we'll go for the raise. So we do need to make 500,000 before we retire. So here's another call from a residential area. So there's a fight. A hot dog vendor reports that he saw 2 Elvis impersonators grappling right there on the sidewalk. They're swearing Spanish and beating each other with microphone stands. Now we only have 2 cops to send. Our 2 ace cops. So they'll have to do. So let's get this police report from the disorderly conduct. And the offender escaped, officers unharmed. That's sad. So they lost a little bit of stats. So now we have a situation at the robbery, where we sent the SWAT team. The shop has 2 exits from which a few people have already fled. So we can sneak up to the back door, drive a patrol car right through the front window, or enter the store through the main entrance. Now if they say that some people have already fled, maybe we can sneak up to the back door. Let's do that. The stick-up man noticed the police presence and took the cashier hostage. He's holding his gun to the hostage's head, shouting, "Back off or I'll blow this goddamn face off." Meanwhile, the cashier is yelling in an unknown language. So we can either silently take aim at the robber, you in the mask shut your face and drop the weapon, or say, "Quiet Abdul, you're just making things more complicated." I think we'll just silently take aim at the robber. The robber grows visibly nervous. "Don't shoot please, I just need the money. I'll just take a little bit and go. No one was hurt." The cashier begins to cry. So we can either say, "I'll let you leave here upright, but only if you release the hostage," or "There's 2 ways out of this shop, in cuffs or in a body bag," or we can shoot the robber. I think we'll say this, "I'll let you leave here upright, but only if you release the hostage." So that convinced him, so we solved that. And increased our stats a little bit. We have something over here, looks like a detective case. So we'll put our best detective on it, which is Vegas, and then we also have more detectives available. So we'll put our best 2 detectives on it, and we'll keep Beersley in reserve. And we have an event over here, municipal assignment from City Hall. It's a hot one today and a lot of people are going for a swim. Last week 4 people drowned on the beaches of Freeburg and the press was in an uproar. Please send someone to keep an eye on things. So we'll send our worst cop over there. Should be able to keep an eye on the water. And we have another event here. Ernest Fitzgerald, Countryside. Jack, this year the organizers of the Golden Beast Hunt suddenly changed the rules of the annual shooting contest. It now features teams instead of single competitors. Can you send me 2 of your finest marksmen? I'd really love to do well in the competition. Well, we can't. We can only send 1 guy. We have to wait for someone else to come back. Here's the report for the fight. And we caught the offender, so all is well and good. And I think we'll get 1 other cop back before this timer runs out for sure. So let's assign some cops here. We'll send our 2 best cops that are available and hope they shoot well. So here's the robbery report from Detective Vickers. You got 3 new frames. Let's open up the investigation. An antique Chinese necklace was stolen from Bao Liang while she was on the way to the pawn shop. And Mrs. Liang says, me and my husband got into a difficult financial situation and I was going to pawn an antique necklace, which has been in my family for many centuries. As I was carrying the necklace to the pawn shop, someone ripped the bag from my shoulder and disappeared. I didn't have time to do anything, not even cry out. And Mr. Fishman is a witness. The offender was on a motorcycle. He drove down the road, grabbed the bag and then escaped. I tried to race after him, but I didn't even have time to see if it was a man or a woman. Mrs. Olivares, I couldn't see his face, but he was dressed in a jacket like those other bikers who hang around on the street corners. Mrs. Phillips, it was definitely not a local biker. They are bald and have beards, but this guy looked Asian, probably Japanese or Chinese. Mrs. Patterson, I didn't see a weapon in his hands. I just saw him grab her bag and ride off. So Mrs. Liang is walking there, and then this guy who looks Japanese comes up on his motorcycle. He grabs her bag and he takes off. So that completed the sequence. That was an easy case to solve. So Kyun Yin Lin, Chinese immigrant, recently expelled from the university, is the suspect. And we'll close that down. And here's another report from Ernest Fitzgerald. We did it. Boy, we won. That Ernest really knows a lot about shooting, even taught us a thing or 2. He invited us out hunting to celebrate the victory, so we'll be taking a day off. We deserve it. So they're taking the rest of the day off. That's really annoying. Here's a quick call. Vandalism. A guard went out for a smoke and saw a teenager writing obscenities on the wall of the building. I chased the brat up a tree. You can take it from here. So let's just send our 2 worst cops for that teenager. And destruction of property at the Gallery of Modern Art. At a gallery exhibition entitled Sex Operation, a gang of young people in ski masks forced their way in and began smashing the exhibits, shouting, "We don't need this shit in our city." We only have 2 cops available for this. But they're really good cops, but there are 5 slots here. Those 2 cops that took a day off, they really fucked us over. And here's another event. Arrest of Kyun Ling, the suspect of the robbery at the Chinatown dormitory. After being expelled from the university, Kyun Lin moved here. You have to send 2 officers and the lead investigator. We don't have 2 officers available, so we're just gonna have to wait for a little while. Now it's gone. We need more officers. We had the suspect, but we couldn't send any police to pick him up. Well, at least we caught the destruction of property offenders. That worked well. That was at the Museum of Modern Art, I think. And the vandalism was a teenager at the Atticus Tower. So that worked out. And that's the end of the day. So unfortunately, when we got the suspect of the investigation, we had no one to send to pick him up. But let's end the day. Piles of work. Looks like tomorrow is going to be a long day. More like the first of a lot of long days. There's just too much going on. So day 6. Thomas Blaine, pregnant woman killer, sent to mental hospital. According to Dr. Eleanor Waterbury, Thomas Blaine has a new form of schizophrenia. And Mayor Rogers not afraid of the competition. So let's go to work.
Mr. Boyd, there was a man here earlier. He left you this.
A man? What man? Who let him on this floor?
I don't know. I've never seen him before. I asked him his name, but he just ignored me. He was talking on a big telephone, you know, one of those portables. He gave me this envelope and left.
Damn. Okay, let's see about this.
Wow, so that's Kendrick and his family.
The photo could have been doctored, of course, but Sand doesn't go in for cheap theatrics. Kendrick is dead, his family is dead, and they probably died slowly and painfully. But Sand's got a bigger game. He's not trying to frighten me. He's just trying to clue me in on the facts. I didn't agree to work for him on my own, so now they're just going to insist. Boyd.
Good morning, Jack. I believe you just received my message.
Who am I speaking with?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forget some people don't recognize my voice. But I assure you, Jack, if I was sitting right there in front of you, you'd have no trouble recognizing me. Like I was a member of your family. Even better than a wife, perhaps. A wife can betray you. No man is immune.
I don't talk to people who don't tell me their names.
Oh, Jack, don't be so childish. You're too old to run away from strangers. Yes, we both are. And in our old age, friendship becomes rare and all the more precious. But of course, we must work with new people and find out new names. So if you insist, Jack, let us formally meet. Hello, Jack Boyd. I'm Christopher Sand.
Wonderful, Mr. Sand. And what is it you do for a living?
Oh, you'll soon find out all about that. Well, you'll learn much more than a simple policeman could ever expect. You're a simple policeman no longer, Jack. Don't turn off your phone. You start today.
Eight in 10. It's been my go-to principle since my first day on the job. I've got to let my colleagues hush up what they need to, 2 out of 10 times, so that they'll help me with the remaining 8. 80 out of 100, 800 out of 1,000. I'm proud of those statistics. It's not so bad for Freeburg, right? But now I just officially became a mafia whore. I'm supposed to be fearing for my life, for the lives of my wife and children. But the only thing I can think, what's gonna happen to 8 and 10?
So Sand is amping up the game, and here's Yancy. Some pipes in my house busted, and I need to wait around for the plumber. Can I take the day? No, you cannot. We're not gonna give any cops days off anymore. We want them on the force. We want to solve cases. They can deal with their problems on their own time. Start the day. Let's listen to something we haven't. This one. Sing him, John Sangster. So we got a penalty from City Hall. Please be advised that we are unhappy with the efficiency of the Freeburg PD. We're cutting the department's budget. That should improve our performance, that they cut our budget. You lose 1 job slot. Removing an occupied slot will automatically fire an employee. Now there was that issue with black cops. So I don't know if we'll automatically lose the black cops or if this penalty is actually based on the fact that we did not fire all of our black cops. I think we'll let Roy go. He's a 15 police officer. So let's see these messages. Jack, you swore an oath to serve the city. If you can't keep your promises, we won't keep ours. Yeah, so that was to fire all black cops, but we had too many black cops really to fire all of them. Request approved, so we got a raise of 10%. And we have something here. Okay, so we can do the arrest today. That's excellent. So let's make sure that nothing goes wrong with that. I think we'll send these guys. Actually, I think we'll send... I want to make sure this works out. So let's send Yancy and Austin. We need the lead detective. So he's on the other shift, I think. So maybe we'll leave that for tomorrow. Unless we can call him in. Vickers. Yeah, we can we move him to shift B now? No, he doesn't come in. Let's click this. Attempted murder. A young employee at the factory got into a fight with the manager and is trying to push him into a vat of boiling chocolate. So let's send Kochi and Birch for that. And it doesn't look like we can move Vickers, so we need to put him back on shift A again, so we get him next day. And here's another call. Carjacking. Parking lot attendant Dylan Burns reports seeing a teenager walking between cars, trying handles in hopes of finding an unlocked vehicle. Before the attendant could approach him, the teenager found an unlocked door and shot himself inside. A few seconds later, the teen drove shrieking from the parking lot, greatly exceeding the speed limit. He fled towards the suburbs. So let's send Purdy, Subaki and Price on that. Here's the report on the attempted murder. So we caught the offender, officers unharmed. That's great. So we have the situation with the carjacking. Officers have determined the car thief's location, so we can catch up with the stolen vehicle and open fire. That sounds very dramatic. Overtake the criminal and attempt to take him into custody, or overtake the offender and block the road. Let's just try that. So that worked out. And another hostage situation. In the suburbs, a weeping child called in saying that someone was holding him against his will. They won't let me go outside, they torture me and bully me. I don't think I can keep going. I want to go outside and see Pete. And we can send 4 cops. And it's a child, so I think we'll do that. We don't want to mess up anything here. Send everything we got. So we have another call, 5th at the casino. We received a call from an angry casino patron. He claims that one of the casino girls that was hanging around his table lifted his wallet, which was carrying a couple of $1,000 in cash and several credit cards. Casino security showed him outside, saying that he was drunk, but the man isn't giving up so easily. So let's send our best cop and our worst cop on this one. And here's a report from the hostage situation, but first we get a call from Sand that needs help. Jack, we're dealing with a moron who refuses to pay his debts, says that the police will protect him. I think it's time we show him whose side the police are on. So we can refuse or we can send a cop. We already saw what he did to Kendrick's family. So we have a moral choice. We can either play the good police commissioner or we can go full dirty cop. Let's just refuse this. We are a man of upstanding morals and high integrity. Let's get this hostage report. Joseph Laurie's mother wouldn't let him go to play until he ate his broccoli. It's a false alarm. So we sent 2 cops to that. We could try and apprehend this guy without the lead. We can send the SWAT team also. I'm not sure that he'll still be around tomorrow. So here's a report for the 5th. We got the offender. And a call here. Assault with a deadly weapon. City center. At a parking lot exit, a security guard stopped a suspicious looking van and asked to check the driver's membership card. The female driver reached casually into the glove compartment, then pulled out a gun and opened fire. Yeah. So let's send some good guys. Send 4 cops. And we'll leave the investigation open and see if we can solve it tomorrow when Vickers comes in. Hopefully it'll still be available. If not, we'll have learned that we need to do it fairly quickly. So we have a situation at the assault with a deadly weapon. The police cruiser has caught up with the perpetrator's van. So we can use the bullhorn to order the van to stop, shoot out the criminal's tires, or try to run the van off the road. It's probably difficult to run a van off the road with a police car. Now we already know he assaulted someone with a deadly weapon, so maybe we'll just shoot out the criminal's tires. Let's do that. The van takes a sharp turn and crashes through the window of a sex shop. A woman exits the vehicle, grabs the shop attendant and puts a gun to his head. So we can either throw a rubber sex doll at the assailant, shoot the criminal in the head, or let go of that man right now. But she's got a gun, so I don't think we're taking any chances here. We'll shoot the criminal in the head. And that worked out. Apparently we hit. So everybody made stats and everything is well and good. And the offender is obviously dead. And the day is about to end. So here we have a report from the homicide. That was an investigation we started back on the very first day. And that failed. So that's been running the whole time. That's interesting. So apparently these investigations will just continue for a very long time. And we probably could have assigned more detectives to this case. And then we could have solved it. So that's good to know. So that was a mistake. So let's take a look at the labor market. We have an open spot here for a detective because the one investigating the homicide was killed. So we'll hire Nick Hunter, who's the best one here. I just have to look at where we need to hire him. See, this is shift A and this is shift B, so we need him on shift B. There we go. And we'll end the day. So we lost Mole on that investigation, but other than that, it was a pretty good day, I think. So now we're at day 7. Rogers is responsible for Freeburg PD breakdown. Investigation into Francis Kendrick could resume. Mayor Rogers, I'll bring order to the police station. Alright guys, we'll leave off here. We'll continue in the next episode. Thank you for watching and I'll catch you all next time.